Riot police in Belarus dispersed protesters today off the streets of the capital Minsk in a show of force. But demonstrators weren't met with the same violence that propelled thousands into the streets last week after the disputed presidential election. With the support of the Pulitzer Center, special correspondent Simon Ostrovsky reports.
Respected citizens, you are violating the regulations on mass assembly. Please cease your activities and disperse.
What activities? We're not allowed to stand up, or what?
As partial shutdowns at several large manufacturing plants across Belarus continue, Alexander Lukashenko renewed his crackdown on a protest movement that continues to threaten his rule. Disputes between workers and management across the country continued to simmer in the aftermath of the contested August 9th presidential poll. Lukashenko claimed he won a less than credible 80%.
There's a tense standoff outside the main state-owned National Theater in Minsk because the culture minister recently fired the director over his support for the protests. Standoffs like this are taking place all across the country in the last few days.
The culture minister wants to talk to the actors about the theater's program for the upcoming 100th Jubilee season. But the theater's employees have something else on the agenda.
There has to be order in cultural institutions.
We can't work in a country where people are humiliated and beaten.
One by one, they lay their resignation letters at the minister's feet. It looks like the upcoming season has been canceled. Mikhail Zui is one of the actors who resigned.
I told the minister my kids were afraid of the police and wanted to know if they'd be taken away. My wife is too scared to fall asleep. So this is the only way we could stand up for what we believe in.
I asked the culture minister if he supported the idea of holding a new presidential election in Belarus.
Everything must take place within the framework of the Constitution of the Belarus Republic, and only within the legal parameters, because you're going to bring chaos to the country. We're heading in that direction by leaps and bounds.
The situation at this massive refrigerator factory in Minsk is an example of why things aren't exactly straightforward in Belarus right now. Protesters here are calling on the thousands of workers who work here to go on strike, but only a handful have actually downed tools.
We can tell that people support us, and we really want to support the people as well, and join the resistance against our country's regime, and stop feeding the riot police. I was detained for 2 days myself, and I just don't want people to be hurt like they're being hurt in our country right now.
Vika Bolutenko is among the majority of workers at this plant who've decided to continue working through the crisis despite calls from protesters to help choke the regime of tax revenue.
This is my work time. We can't shut the factory down. This would be a terrible blow to the budget.
That's exactly what we want to happen.
The director of the factory, Dmitry Sokolovsky, stands outside the plant all day to oversee the arrival of workers coming to their shifts.
The factory is operating. I'm categorically against halting production. If we don't produce goods now, then we won't be able to continue operating in the winter. My position is that enterprises should not get involved in politics.
It's a sentiment that Belarus's opposition certainly doesn't share. Svetlana Tsikhanouskaya is in exile in Lithuania and declared herself the winner of the presidential election and addressed an emergency European Union leadership meeting today.
I call on you not to recognize these fraudulent elections.
The EU complied, saying it would levy sanctions and made it clear it didn't want foreign interference in Belarus. That's a warning shot at Russia. Despite recent tensions with Moscow, Lukashenko has discussed military support with Vladimir Putin. And Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov picked up Lukashenko's charge today against the uprising, that it's the work of foreign powers.
Нас тревожит We are concerned with an attempt to use internal difficulties which Belarus is facing now in order to meddle in these events in this process from outside.
Tsikhanouska's representative in Minsk, Olga Kovalenko, said she expects the opposition candidate to return to the country imminently to take over from Lukashenko and organize new, clean elections.
It's clear that the acting president, Alexander Lukashenko, does not have the trust and support of society, and the people who are coming out into the streets are striking at manufacturers. They are ready to fight for their voices.
We definitely consider this an attempt to seize power.
But Lukashenko hasn't shown signs of readiness for dialogue, instead lambasting the opposition as coup plotters on state TV and sending riot police back into the streets of Minsk. And today, his spokesman announced Lukashenko would be inaugurated again within 2 months. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Simon Ostrovsky in Minsk.